As you saw in the intro before, I built this tower and this layout for the village we're going to make. You maybe saw it, but what the fuck is this? The brown lines, they are like the pathways. I always use wool to lay out these kinds of things, by the way, because otherwise you're going to get cramped houses and such. And that's not really fun or good to look at. And the blue wool is of the smaller house, the more poor houses, which I'm going to construct out of spruce wood and bricks, like this, but a little less ruined, a little nicer, because, well, the tower was here way before the village was. That's kind of what I'm imagining. And the red houses, they are a little bigger. They are more of a spruce wood and quartz kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I'm imagining. Also, I constructed the inside of the tower. You didn't see that on the time lapse, but well, I didn't know. It's like not that big. It's not small or something. It's not big enough to show you kind of what I'm doing. So here we have a spiral staircase, which I did really long about constructing, and now just the idea in my head, I could just do /stack. It's a command in World Edit, which I'm using, by the way. But yeah. So then here we have a chandelier, but there's nothing much in here because the doorway was in here. So there wasn't really much space because of the spiral staircases, which are mirrored, as you can see. And then on the second floor we have this throne. It's like a throne that the evil force would sit on, like this. Well, now it's on fire, so I don't think it would be really comfortable, but well, who knows, like the god of death or something was kept in this tower or lived in this tower. That's what I'm imagining. And we have like a coffin in here with a wither rose on it to present like withering and death. And maybe they're keeping it alive or protecting it. I can't walk staircases. Oh, no I can. And now we come here with an altar with a little bit of gold and also a really nice chandelier again. Oh, but well, yeah, there's altar and here's a wither rose again. The wither, the death, like an evil rose on the gold block, by the way, which can be done in vanilla survival and such. But I use World Edit to place it there, so it will stay there even if you play this in survival. If I'm going to put out this map, if I figure out how. So yeah, that's what I'm imagining. Like this tower was here or a really long time ago on this floating island, which I'm going to show you now, by the way. But like it was here a long time ago, and the god of death or an evil force lived on it, and they fought it and they killed it off, and they kept it in this tower to protect it from the rest of the world, so no evil can get to him again. So that's what I'm imagining, protecting him from the rest of the world. Or, well, protecting the rest of the world from him, actually. As you can see, we have a floating island here. I made it out of World Edit. It's not the best, but I haven't done floating islands like in ever. So normally you do it with sand and it fills in pretty nicely, but you can't do it because it would drop to the water. So and here you can see a little tiny stone, which are little redstone blocks, so it's not a little redstone. And here yet again, like I did this to represent, like there's evil coming, shining, showing through the island. From this tower. This tower doesn't look evil, by the way. It looks really old, and that's like the vibe I'm going for. The poor houses aren't going to have that, by the way, the blue houses. Like I really like it, and it's going to be inspired on some Asian architecture. It isn't really Asian architecture, it's more Asian fantasy like, because all these pointy roofs and such, they aren't Asian architecture. I really can't talk today. But yeah. And it looks really old and withered with this destroyed wood and all the plants and such, which I think looks really nice, but well, maybe not everybody thinks it, but I'm going to keep it because it's my project. And well, then we're going to build a bigger house, but first we're going to build the pole houses, and that's what you're going to see now. First, I'm going to make the brick foundation. Then I use spruce wood pillars, and then spruce wood for the walls. I'm not gonna decorate the backside because it's going to be against the other houses. So I use stairs at the lowest rim of the roof, and further I use slabs to make the top a little flatter than the most outward part. And then I made some windows because it was looking really flat. For the windows I made some flower beds to give it a little pop of color, to give it a little detail. And then I went inside and I made a chimney for the smoke effect, and just because it always I think it gives the roof a little more color, a little more than just the roof. I also forgot to do the second window, so I did that. And then I realized that it was looking kinda bland, so I changed the entire roof from spruce wood and dark oak wood to stone bricks and cobblestone, and it looks way better this way, way less bland. I did some details and some buttons. I think it looks way better now. So as you saw, I built the pole houses. I used a little blue terracotta in the roof because it gives this purple effect when you walk down here. The grey is also kinda a little purple if you walk to the side of it, and it shares that with the tower, which I think is really nice. And when all these little buildings will be there, it will share that. So it will all bind the whole thing together. So it looks a little more. It looks a little more like one thing, one thing to the eye, because otherwise it will break it up in small parts like this, a building, that's a building, and it will come off really messy. Which is also the thing that is really cool about villages or cities. Like, I think this is a village, but it's a big village in Minecraft perspectives. I think it's the biggest one I've ever built, but well, it can be messy and also one thing together, and that's a little weird, but it gives this kind of cool effect. That's why everybody's building villages and such, because, well, it's like a fun thing to build. So, and there's a little path coming up to this, and the rich houses here will draw this through the village, but it will keep it separated, because that's why I did this high foundation, to keep it separated from the village. Because, well, if you look, the foundation of the tower is higher than the roof of the pole buildings, and I think that will be kept like that. Yeah, these are the other highest buildings, and well, they'll be as high as those. Also, these bigger buildings, they won't have this foundation kind of thing, because like as you can see, here's going to be the pathway. Actually, here's the pathway. You walk like this, and then here's the door. So we'll probably do, like, we'll take stone brick stairs, and we'll build it up like this, so they can get to the house. But that won't be with the rich area, because this looks kind of poor. But I didn't do that, and I'm going to take it away, because the path, I haven't made the path yet. So I think it's really nice. And the chimneys, they are, well, they look kind of weird now, but when all the houses have those chimneys, all these particle effects, are going to be really cool if you look over it. It's not that impressive, but if all those particle effects are over the whole town, it will look cool, I think. I hope so. So the next one I'm going to do is, I think it's this one, and then the small buildings, that one and that one. But we'll see. as you just saw, I just completed the buildings, and this is how they look from a distance. There are going to be more buildings, and that's what I'm going to explain now. This was the end of this episode, and in the next one we'll build the richer buildings, and in the third one, the last one of this project, we're going to build the paths, a couple of details, a tree, and I have something in mind for the village which I haven't told you yet, so keep a lookout for that. And it doesn't look like much, but if you walk here, and this is really cramped, but it doesn't matter because it's a pole section. So if you look here, it really looks like a town, and I even have gotten lost in here, even though it's not that big, like it's only this. So and then that and that and there are going to be some richer buildings, which I hope is going to be really fun to make. But if you enjoy this episode, and make sure to look out for the next ones in this series, and if you really liked it, leave a like and consider subscribing. It would really help me out. I'm just starting. This is one of the first videos I upload to my channel, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!